With the NFL season starting very soon, I'm here to present my Super Bowl matchup prediction. The NFL might have some of the best parity in recent memory, despite the reign of the Chiefs. There are many playoff teams and contenders in each conference. It was hard to pick between two teams that I believe will make the Super Bowl through the sea of talent. However, I'm confident in my pick, and I would be very excited for this game. I have picked the Packers and the Texans to play in the Caesars Dome on February 9th, 2025 for Super Bowl 59, and I'm here to explain why. But before we get started, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let's start with last season. With Aaron Rodgers getting traded to the Jets, the Packers were entering a brand new era in the 2023 season. With Jordan Love being the starter, expectations for this team were too high. There were many questions surrounding this team heading to the season, justifiably so. But after a rough first couple of games, the media and fans started to move on from the Packers and Jordan Love as a whole. The team struggled, Love struggled, and it looked like the Packers were experiencing mid-QB play for the first time in decades. However, with an incredible midseason turnaround, the Packers snuck into the playoffs with huge wins against the Chiefs and Lions on the way there. In the wildcard round, many people congratulated their season-ending run, but had picked the Cowboys to advance. The Packers would blow up the Cowboys in their own stadium, but after challenging the 49ers in a tough game, they were finally sent home in the divisional. The Texans were also entering a brand new era as well. After drafting quarterback CJ Stroud with the second pick in the 2023 draft, they had made an even more controversial move by trading up to their third pick for Will Anderson Jr., a massive risk at the time due to the fact they gave their 2024 first-round pick with a roster that didn't look very promising. However, that seemed to pay off, as after a great start from CJ Stroud, he absolutely exploded as the season went on. He had one of the greatest QB rookie seasons of all time with incredible performances. He helped to lead the Texans to a wildcard spot after a thrilling Week 18 win over the division rival Colts. After the season, the Texans and CJ Stroud showed out as a great young team. Heading to playoffs, they were playing a toss-up game against the best defense in the entire league on paper. In their first playoff game, CJ Stroud and the Texans lit up the Browns en route to the divisional. However, the two-time MVP Lamar Jackson and the Ravens proved to be too much for the Texans. Starting at the top, both teams are led by incredible head coaches. Matt LaFleur has been underrated his entire coaching career. He won 13 games 3 years in a row, leading the Packers to deep playoff runs in the process. He had one down year in 22 when Rodgers wanted out and was on the decline, and then took one of the youngest teams in league history to the playoffs, yet again with an incredible turnaround. He has set up all these young pieces to succeed, especially with Jordan Love and the offense. He is an offensive guru like Shanahan, McVay, and McDaniel, and he has proven to be a great leader off the field as well. He is a true elite head coach, and he never gets his praise. D'Amico Ryans, on the other hand, had to fill a couple one-and-done coaches for the Texans. With a brand new era and QB for the Texans, Ryans had a rough job ahead of him. However, he had a great year, winning the division in his first season, changing this defense, and proving to the league why he is a Texans coach for the future. He has also built great chemistry with CJ Stroud. With more weapons on defense on the team, Ryans could improve this defense even more. Both coaches are great leaders, are proven winners, and have nailed down the chemistry with their QB of the future. They both form some of the best QB and head coach Joes in the league. Speaking of QB, let's get to them. Jordan Love had a lot of pressure on him ever since his name was called in 2020. Having to take that mantle from a Hall of Fame quarterback like Aaron Rodgers is not an easy feat. It made it even harder when Rodgers won back-to-back MVPs. Questions started to surface on what was happening with Love, and would he even get any playing time? We got our answer when Aaron Rodgers was traded to the Jets in 2023. It was finally time for Love to show how good he is. In the first couple weeks, he was playing pretty decent. He was even tied in first with the most passing touchdowns by week 2. However, in the middle part of the season, he started to struggle really bad. Whether it was him, the young offense, or bad coaching, he threw more interceptions, and it looked like the Packers didn't strike gold once again. However, around week 10 or 11, he started to play like an elite guy, and he went on an incredible stretch to end the season, throwing for 18 touchdowns to 1 interception, with some incredible throws and big-time plays. Multiple 3-touchdown, no-interception games, he was second in touchdowns, broke records, and had the greatest pseudo-rookie season since Mahomes. To top it off, he was tied first to have the greatest passer rating in an NFL playoff debut with 157.2. It is safe to say Jordan Love established himself as the next Packers great. The quarterback he tied with for the best passer rating in a playoff debut was CJ Stroud. Stroud was entering the season with a different type of pressure. As a second overall pick into one of the worst situations of the league, he was expected to play decently in his rookie season. He had the mantle of becoming a franchise QB after Deshaun Watson, and the Texans were just hoping that Stroud would show promise to be their quarterback of the future. Stroud also got lost in the offseason, and no one was really talking about him or his potential. It came to many fans' surprise, including the Texans fans, when he had one of the greatest rookie QB seasons of all time. He had big game after big game and proved he was clutch to put out some incredible throws. It all came to the end where he played well in a win or home game to clinch the division and make the playoffs. In the playoff game, the media had questions about how he would fare against this monstrous Brown defense. He shut them up, blowing them out in an incredible 3-touchdown game. All his efforts resulted in him winning Offensive Rookie of the Year, and he has proved he is the future for the Texans. When talking about some of the best young and rising weapon rooms in the league, these two are among the top. Starting with the Texans, they might have the best wide receiver trio in the league. They have two young stars with Nico Collins, who played incredible last year, and second-year phenom Tank Dell. They are already looking to become a dynamic duo in the future. However, by adding star wide receiver Stephon Diggs, this room becomes unbelievably scary. Diggs has been a consistent top 10 receiver for the past 4 to 5 years, and while he isn't the same player, he is still a great one. He will bring leadership and mentorship to the young duo. Outside of the three, they have good depth with John Mechie as well. Dalton Schultz is a very good starting tight end that played well for them last year. Brevin Jordan scored that 70-yard touchdown in the playoffs against the Browns. They also have three good running backs with Joe Mixon, Dameon Pierce, and Cam Akers, who is looking to bounce back. The Texans have star power and the depth to become one of the best weapon rooms in the league. They also have the potential to get better along with their two-star wide receivers. The Packers have 4 good young receivers on the roster. All 4 have been key contributors to the success of last season and the future success of the Packers. The 4 of them are looking to have a breakout season once again, while also keeping that same chemistry that makes this team very special. If you want to talk about depth, the Packers might have the best in the league, as all 6 receivers in the room are NFL level players. If you want to talk about potential, the Packers also have the best room in the league. Outside of their receiver room, their 2 rookie tight ends, Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft, were also good options for Jordan Love last year. Both of them showed flashes of becoming a good tight end in this league, and their potential is also through the roof. Considering Aaron Jones missed a good portion of last season, the Packers got an upgrade at running back with Josh Jacobs, who fits a better offense and an offensive line. Add in rookie Marshawn Lloyd to back them up, and the Packers might not have the star talent yet, but they have one of the deepest rooms in the league, and they certainly have the most potential. Both teams will have improved defenses this season after offseason changes. Starting with the Texans, having a defensive-minded head coach in DeMeco Ryans is always an automatic advantage. He helped transform the Texans' defense last season as they played pretty well over the course of the season. Will Anderson Jr. won Defensive Rookie of the Year as he was a problem off the edge. Now paired with Pro Bowl edge rusher Danielle Hunter, the Texans might have the best edge duo in the entire league. They will both work off each other, making their lives easier. Adding a projected year 2 jump from Will, and this duo is deadly. However, they aren't the only stars on this defense. Derek Stingley has always been a very touted cornerback prospect in college and in the league. After missing a majority of his rookie season and sauce putting the league on notice, Stingley was forgotten about. After a great season last year, he could definitely take another leap with the Texans. Kamari Lassiter was a great pick for the Texans, and he showed he could be a great number 2 corner in the preseason, and he will develop nicely under DeMeco Ryans as well. Including more new young pieces and year 2 under DeMeco Ryans' defense, they could be one of the best in the league, especially when banking on star jumps from young players. The Packers are entering a new era of defense after they fired Joe Barry and hired new DC Jeff Hafley. He has completely changed the scheme to become more aggressive and involving more man coverage playing into his defensive strengths. Starting off with the defensive line, Rashawn Gary has been a great edge for 3 years now. Another player that is bound to make a huge jump is Lucas Van Ness, who was drafted 13th overall last year and had a decent rookie season. He looks to be this team's number 2 edge in the sophomore season. I'm hoping to see him get better as well. The rest of the defensive line is also very solid and deep, headlined by defensive tackle Kenny Clark, who has been a consistent Pro Bowler. However, the group that will improve the most drastically is the secondary. The Packers added 3 safeties and signed the best safety in free agency with Xavier McKinney, after they had the worst room in the league. Eric Stokes is finally healthy and looks good, and last year's 7th-round rookie Carrington Valentine, who had a great season, is also bound to get better. Lastly, the best player on this defense is a top 5 corner in the league with Jair Alexander. Adding Jeff Hafley, primarily focusing on defensive backs, and the Packers' defense could be scary next season. Lastly, I want to talk about how much fun this matchup could be and what storylines would come from it. First off, 2 teams who had incredible turnarounds under new QBs the previous season have already reached the mountaintop among a variety of contenders. This would be like the 21 Bengals playing each other in the Super Bowl. In this age of team building, these 2 teams could change the way teams build their rosters in the hopes of a quick turnaround as well. In addition, you have 2 young star quarterbacks that everyone is talking about, facing off against each other early into their careers. Both are also likable players and people off the field, making it hard to root against either of them. Another storyline has to do with these 2 franchises. The Texans have been relatively mid for their entire history. They have won their division a couple times and have made the playoffs, but have not made it past the divisional round yet. Contrast to that, the Packers have been the model of consistent success over the past 3 decades in their entire franchise history, with 3 great QBs. It would represent the difference between franchise history. The Texans, who are finally a true contender despite having incredible players, are now led by one of the best QBs in franchise history that is on route to have an amazing career. To make the Super Bowl in just year 2 of the regime would be incredible for Houston. On the flip side, the Packers, who have been a playoff team for years, are coming off just 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks and look to have a great QB playing for them right now. To make the Super Bowl in the 2nd year of the Love era will only confirm that Love is in line with the other greats. An underdog team led by a young and hungry quarterback versus the model consistently led by another great QB. That would be an interesting storyline to follow. This is my official Super Bowl matchup prediction. I do believe this is realistic, and I would definitely want to see this matchup between these two young teams. It would signal a new era for both teams and the league around them. Let me know what you guys think about this matchup in the comments, and if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe.